What's up? Jake from Jake's Guitar Channel here. Today we are looking at my top 5 exercises for down picking so that you can sound something like this. So first things first, why down picking? Why not alternate picking? Why not hybrid picking? Why not any of the other pickings that are out there? Simple answer, they all serve different purposes, right? The riff that I played in the intro is Blackened by Metallica. Now, this riff, you can play it alternate picked. It's definitely possible, but it is not easy. So when you play this riff alternate picked, it's possible, but the accents are weird with alternate picking, and because there's an odd amount of notes in the phrase, it means that the second time you play it through, you're playing the opposite stroke. So every downstroke becomes an upstroke. So effectively, you have to learn 2 ways to pick the exact same pattern and all the weird accenting and everything. The whole point is that if you know how to down pick, you know how to alternate pick, you know how to hybrid pick, you know how to do all the different types of picking, then you're never going to run into any major issues no matter what you want to write or what you want to play. Because you're playing the exact same motion every single time you hit a note, you're getting as close to possible for a human to make the same sound. If you down pick and then up pick, they have a different tone. If you want to have a chugging riff, down pick everything is going to sound more or less exactly the same. Much more the same than if you down and up pick. So that's the why. In regards to target tempo, it's literally whatever you want. If you can play this faster than 100 BPM, then just learn some Metallica, get that stuff tied up and you'll be fine. Here's the first exercise, just straight chromatic. The most important thing for you is to make sure that your motions are smooth and consistent, right? If you're trying to play it at 80 BPM and you're noticing a lot of tension in your forearm, or you just can't quite keep up, or maybe there's a few upstrokes sneaking in there, then you're going too fast. Slow it down. If you can't do it 4 notes per beat, like you get a bit lost in there, then do 2 notes per beat. So instead of the metronome counting 1, 2, 3, have the metronome set at twice the speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever you need to make it easy for you to get this exercise done. But once again, the most important thing is that you're playing it smoothly and evenly, slow enough that it sounds consistent and you're not getting any muscle tension. When you find that perfect BPM, so say you're playing it at 60, like everything's fine. You wind it up to 65, the wheels fall off. Don't worry about it. Spend 5 or 10 minutes just playing it at 60, right? It will get hard. You will feel lactic acid building up in your muscles. That's all good. Tomorrow when you come back, 65 will be easy, right? And just keep this process going. It does take time, but it's just simple. Do the same thing over and over. With that in mind, let's move on to the next exercise because it steps up in difficulty just a little bit. Right, so this is one of the first exercises that I learned along with the chromatic scale called the spider. Now this one is really good for alternate picking as well, but the biggest thing to keep in mind with this is you want 4 clear, consistent downstrokes on the way up, and then 4 clear, consistent downstrokes on the way down. So you don't want to have like a sweeping motion going up. You want 4 clear and consistent down picks. Okay. All of the same things apply regarding speed and tension. If you can't do it at a certain speed, just go back a little bit, get comfortable there, play it for 30 seconds, play it for a minute, just get that lactic acid building up, come back to it tomorrow. Okay? On to the next exercise. Now, this exercise is a little bit slower naturally because we're looking at phrases of 3 rather than phrases of 4 per beat. But this one we have to play slower, right? Because as we get to the higher parts of this exercise that I'm just about to show you, it starts getting much more complicated. If you're going too fast, you will start making mistakes. So here's the exercise. Right, now this one is really, really good. So there's a lot of advantages to this. In this exercise, you are playing the C major scale. If you are learning any other scale, you can replace that scale with this pattern, okay? So for example, if you say you're learning G major, you can move every single thing down to the 3rd fret, and then you've got your G major scale. Say you're learning E Locrian. Just put the notes that exist in E Locrian over the same pattern. Etc., etc., all the way up until you run out of the exercise. Right, and the advantage to doing that in a new scale, whatever that scale happens to be, minor, harmonic minor, any type of mode of any type of scale, you're really going to have to think through what the pattern is. It's going to get you a lot more familiar with the sound of the desired scale, but it's also going to get your fingers moving in really weird ways to exercise. It is a fantastic warm-up. Highly, highly recommend this exercise. Next exercise, Master of Puppets. Now the goal tempo on this one is to play it with the song. You can go faster, you can practice it faster, definitely, but just make sure that there's no tension. The hardest part about this song is that it's fast. The second hardest part is the intricacies with the palm muting and that type of thing, the open strings, whatever else. And the third hardest part is that the song is 8.5 minutes long. There's a pretty bit in the middle, but it's relentless down picking for 8.5 minutes. If you can learn this whole song, then fantastic. You're not going to have many issues down picking in the future. Over 10 years ago, I got a Guitar World magazine that had Mick Thomson from Slipknot demonstrating some riffs. And he starts talking about down picking. Now in this, he mentions if you want to learn how to downpick, just sit down with Master of Puppets and learn it. Be able to play it up to speed, you get it. Now, there is a reason why Metallica are known as, you know, really good riff writers. James Hetfield is known as an amazing rhythm player. It's because it's consistent, it's tight, and it's just pure endurance. I've actually got a link to that video below. It is pretty dated, but you know, it has some interesting information in it, and I was actually very surprised when I first saw it of Mick Thomson's abilities on the guitar. Exercise 4.5. It's the second riff in Master of Puppets. It is deceptively simple. Right, because each of those higher notes, that is played open and the other ones are played palm muted. So it's kind of like a wrist flick. So I find it a lot easier to get the endurance for than the first riff, because it just the way that it's done. So learn it, deceptively easy. There you go, that's most of Master of Puppets. Exercise 5, Blackened. This is the riff that I played at the start of the song, and for good reason. So this kind of combines everything that we've looked at so far. It is fast, you have to be accurate, there's string skipping, there's even an alternate picked part in the... Right, you've got to make sure that it's down, 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 up, down, down. Okay? It's like there is a lot that goes on in this riff, and it is moving quick, and it does not slow down for you. It doesn't care how quick or slow you are playing. It's going to leave you if you're not up to scratch. And as I mentioned at the top of the video, you can try an alternate pick it, but it's going to sound weird. You're not going to be happy with the result. There you have it. There's my 5 top tips for alternate picking. Now, what I recommend, there are loads and loads of riffs out there. In that Mick Thomson video, find that riff that they've got in there and learn that one down picked as well. Learn whatever you can. See, once you've got that down, once you can play Blackened, once you can play Master of Puppets, find whatever else in your repertoire that you can attempt to downpick. You will be surprised at what is potentially downpicked out there that you always thought was alternate picked. You will also be surprised at what you can do and how it now affects your playing if you haven't already become quite used to downpicking. Highly, highly recommend it. Very, very valuable, and very much changes the vibe of a riff if you downpick it versus alternate picking. That's this week's lesson. I hope you liked it. If you're looking for lessons, email me with the email address below. So here's 5 exercises that I've given you. I've got one more for you, and that's to hit the like button or comment or subscribe or do all 3 or whatever. You know how it goes. And other than that, I'll see you next week. Bye.